Here we go. Welcome to episode 14 of the OurTeam podcast. We've been at this for 14 weeks now. I feel like every week gets better and better. I hope you caught last week's podcast with RCA because that was epic. If you haven't seen it after this, go catch it. Guys, we're a small podcast. We're trying to grow. Every like, every subscribe, every comment helps us massively. So please do those things for us. And you know, it's all free. Takes a second of your time. We're going to be getting very controversial today. Like the topics I've got for today are probably the most controversial topics we've had. I know you're going to have opinions on it. So leave a comment as you watch this. We've got Bio2K joining us. As with the last two guests, this is really cool. We've kind of got this new format where they join us for a couple of hours. We just jam, basically. It's not so much of an interview anymore. So we're going to be doing that with Bio. It's the second time we've had him on. The last time we had him on was a blast. So I cannot wait to get him back on. So he'll be joining us in about 10, 15 minutes. But before that, I'm going to talk to these two. So Josh and Jakel on the podcast this week. Thank you to Jacob again for filling in. But we've got Jakel back. Jakel, thanks for fitting us in, man.
Hey, I've missed you guys. I've missed everyone. I've missed the comments, being a part of all of that. Like seriously, this 2 weeks have felt like, I don't know, almost like a whole month. Like it feels so long. And yeah, so it's good to be back on the grind and back in the 2K world because I've missed a lot by the looks of it. Like so much has happened.
We need Michael Red. Look, I filled in a role of playing games for Jazz. Yo, tell Jazz, tell Jakel, bro. We went for Paul Millsap. Jazz got about 4 games. The other 8 were rough for me. I'm like, where's Jakel when you need him, man? Like Jakel.
I heard it was rough here.
The funniest thing about that is I was 4-1, right? Like, and I literally just couldn't play another game of Unlimited. Like, we're literally going to talk about Unlimited for about an hour today. So like, I'll save this for later. But I was like, I literally can't do it. I can't play another game. And then Josh, like you know, when he's kind of lit up like an angel, just pops out of nowhere and goes, I'll do it for you. I was like, that's
it was a long grind, man. I'll tell you that. Like it was a
you
long
had a rougher time than I was having. Like you
I was thinking, I'm like, yo, when Jakel coming back, man? Because we can't miss out on this Paul Millsap.
Yeah,
it's tough.
I mean, I'm taking applications for anyone else who wants to be my kind of 2K partner because this guy's letting me down. Disappeared for 2 weeks.
I know. You missed 2 weeks. You missed the whole. Yeah. Of course, they drop that when I'm gone. After I've probably played like 300 games in the last, I don't know how long. Like I've smashed so many unlimited games, and then they add this Paul Millsap. Like
he's tough. Though.
It's cool.
You know, it's funny. You were saying to me, Jakel, like the other day, you said how quickly things have moved, right? Since 2 weeks. It's been 3 weeks basically since you've been on the podcast. Yeah. And I was looking at my squad, and I was like, I don't think I've got a player that you were still using 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. Only like probably Luca, and then it's like, I was just like, whoa. I come back. I don't think anyone really realizes because you are all so invested every day almost, and you don't really like get to go away and then come back that often. Like not many people do that because you know you just I don't know, you just don't really do that. And then I did that, and I'm just like, what's going on? And like these cards, I'm just looking at these cards like, what in the world is happening? Like 2 weeks, and I come back and everyone's teams are different. And I'm just
my team is completely different. Like I upgraded the hell out of my team.
Yeah, you really changed your team, Josh. Like
my team.
Who have you picked up in the last sort of week?
Yeah,
you picked up Grant Hill. Who else? Kareem.
I got Grant Hill. Wow. I got KD. I got Kareem. I got Giannis. I got Weber. I got Paul George, Kirilenko, Wilt Chamberlain. Like I picked up damn near a whole new team.
How did you? You didn't have any MT a week ago. How did you do that?
Jazz. What are we doing, man?
My man 2K been dropping them real heavy locker codes with Josh.
Gas locker codes, you know what I'm saying?
Trying to hit 1 million MT.
Yeah, Josh just found 2 million MT lying in the street. Like.
Put it in my back pocket.
All right, guys, let's get into the content. Like, Josh, you take the lead on this. To be honest, I'm not really going to touch any of the content apart from today because this has been the worst week we've seen this whole year for content in 2K. Like, it's been really bad, but we'll run through today's drop, the Idols drop. What's your thoughts on Melo, Josh?
Melo, so like here was my plan. My plan was to replace Melo as the starting 3, throw Kawhi to the bench at the 2. I was hoping to give Melo a better base because I know that corner thing is a problem, but 1, I'm not paying that much for Carmelo Anthony, even though I'm a Knicks fan. And 2, I just feel like they're hoeing him. Like they got to give him a better jump, like a better base. But that's only on current gen. But he is going for a lot because I believe on next gen he's actually really good. But it's a little bit underwhelming. Like everybody was a little underwhelmed. Like they dropped some good cards, stats and badges wise, but then you look at the hot zones, you know, it's not that good. We got a Bosch and we got a Jerome Williams, which I've been asking for a while. I definitely said we wanted an updated Jerome Williams. I definitely said we needed a Bosch soon. I actually said that on the last podcast, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you did.
Dark Matter. So I mean, they did kind of come through with that, but I have Wilt on my bench, and where's like Bosch really gonna go on my team?
Where is Melo is usable on next gen,
right?
On current gen, why would anyone pick up this card, bro?
Too many people at that position, and I knew they was gonna make him a 2 and a 3 though. I'm not gonna lie, I did see that.
You did call that. You did.
The
thing is, he's got the 3 main badges, and he's pretty badged out. Defensively, he's kind of underwhelming in terms of badges. No Pro 2, right?
No.
And Melo's jumper with steady shooter is a problem because that jumper is so inconsistent anyway. He's still got the corner issue. I mean, why would any like DeRozan is there, T-Mac's there, like why would anyone pick up this card?
And it's like Melo, like it's like they had a chance to really make him good because 6'8", 7 foot wingspan, you can run a card like that at this point in the year.
Yeah,
give him the badges he needs defensively. They're changing everybody else's base, but why can't we get you see how Lonzo got his 2K19 jump shot?
Yeah.
Why can't we get a 2K19 Carmelo Anthony jump shot? He had one of the best jumpers in the game at that time. I feel like they're holding back for whatever reason. I don't know. It's like they get these headline players. They got a chance to really. They could have made the most of their money had they gave Melo updated jump shot. I'm just gonna say that they could have made the most of their money with that. But
I mean, we're going to touch on this later. But this is 2K trying to slow things down because they made another mistake, right? They made the Terry mistake again with Ferry. And it's really thrown content out of whack. But we're going to touch on that later. I mean, I kind of see how the next few weeks is going to play out. We've been here before, right? Bosch is divisive because, I mean, he's got basically every shooting badge on Hall of Fame.
Right.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Every off shooting badge you can get, apart from steady, right? Which just makes him the ideal current gen card.
I'm actually going to check that right now. I know.
I think there's one he's got on gold and everything else is on Hall of Fame. I
believe the problem was his speed. I think that was a problem.
Yeah, I mean, his jump shot is ridiculous. Definitely the quickest jumper we've seen on any big, probably. I mean, Ferry's at power forward, but at center, definitely the quickest jumper we've seen.
That base 20, that jump shot 29, if I'm not mistaken. So Bosch, I'm looking at, he has hot zones everywhere. 90 speed, it sounds good, but then you compare, like, you're gonna really run him at the 4. We got power forwards out here with like damn near 98 speed. He's gonna get, people gonna run past him. I mean,
that's always his problem, mate. His defense. It's always
the defense is. I mean, he'll get absolutely posterized by Kareem.
But that's the thing.
Well,
like that's the thing. You don't want to run him at the 5. You can't because he's 6'11", I believe. He has,
and he's got like a real skinny build. He's got a real skinny
his frame. Yeah,
name's weird.
I think we're gonna see a lot of people running him. I think Jaquel, for someone like you, basically 300 for 20 minutes.
Shoot. Yeah, he'd be good. He'd be good just cone. Like if I just run like a 5 out, he just stand out there. Because if his release is fast, like he's elite. He can be elite.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about Jerome Williams because this is a card we've said a few times on the podcast we're looking forward to, and they did not deliver.
They waited so long. They hold him like, for one, we're at a point where everybody gets showtime. Why doesn't he have showtime? I have to apply it to him. That's one. 2. Why would we wait so long to hold on such a good point guard? Like Jerome Williams, he's not a bad card at all. It's just you can't really run him when you got Weber, you got Grant Hill, you got Ron Harper now, and you got Luka. Like they waited so long. It's like he really that's still a good card.
And they changed his jumper.
They changed it.
Yeah, they changed it.
The only card I've used that actually has that jump shot is Hoiberg, the Ruby. It is a good jumper to be fair, but people ran that Jerome for ages. They know his shot. They're locked in. To change it is just a weird thing to do if you were looking forward to that card. He's 6'3", which I think is bordering on unusable now. Yeah. Like I'm running Navarro at the moment, and it's a problem. It really feels like a problem.
He should have came out like around 250K. He should have came around 250K.
Right.
Yeah.
He'd have been the damn best.
He's also like one of the first sort of high-level cards in a long time. I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think this is what I saw. If one of you want to check it, he's got no showtime on the card.
I applied it to him today. I had to apply to him today.
That's crazy. That is crazy. I mean, they've deliberately, it feels like, sabotaged every card in this set, right? Like each one of these cards could have been way better. 2K know how to make a good card now. We've seen it time and time again. It feels deliberate to me. They wanted to slow things down.
It's looking like they're making kind of like just the actual promo packs, the heavy hitters, and they're trying to slow down the idols and stuff like that because these cards could have been they could have been some fun.
Yeah,
could have made the run God.
Billy Owens got hold. My man's is 6'8", 7'2" wingspan. Cool.
The hot zones.
19 gold badges. Okay, 96 speed. The stats are there. 89 3 is a little iffy, but half showtime. One, he doesn't have half range. He doesn't have hot zones. The whole top of the key, only in the corners and inside. What are we doing, 2K? Like
you see what I mean?
Good card that they just like, and I was gonna get him. I'm like, oh, this card looks nice, and I said, whoa, these hot zones, can't pick him up. I could have saved so much MT getting him instead of picking up Paul George, but
Josh, literally, that was my thought process because I was looking at the card, and the hot zones is always the last thing I look at, right? Hot zones of tendencies tend to be the last thing I look at, and I was like, literally, like, you know, he's 6'8". Only drawback was he had gold range, curry slide, quick dribble style. Badged out defensively. I was like, this is a card I should pick up. And then I saw the hot zones and I was like, they've literally sabotaged every card in this set. I mean, why? Why does he not have those 3 hot zones?
And it's not like he's bad. He's just mid. That's the thing. He's not a bad. He's mid. And it's like, cool. Like if you're somebody who likes to 5 out, go ahead, get him. Keep him in that corner. Have him guard ball. You know, you could use him. But then it's like, if you want to play like competitively or you want to use him in like to 12-0 run, if that man is sitting at the wing and he don't green that shot, you probably won't make it. You probably won't make that shot. You're gonna be upset. Like, and it's like it's just they pulled their punches on this pack.
It's so weird, man. The thing is, he's only usable at small forward because of that hot zone situation, right?
Literally, yeah.
But he's a really good shooting guard. Like, you're not gonna run him. He's not running over Danny Ferry at small forward for me. There's not a chance. But I might have run him at shooting guard at 6'8" and. With all the
wingspan, like,
and they made him unusable. You can't run a shooting guard.
Isn't that Tracy McGrady's wingspan in height? 6'8", 7'2"?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, something.
He could have been like a budget T-Mac, and not to say like they got the same jump shot, but he could have been the budget T-Mac people were looking for. But no, they hold him with the hot zone.
It's so weird. Like every card we've discussed has been broken.
They could have left like one spot blank up top. They could have given like 2, like middle and a left wing or something. Left one. I'd have been like, okay, that's cool. You know, you still using it. But like nothing up top.
At shooting guard, it would have been better if he had those 2 hot zones at the hash, right? Like, it just makes no sense.
Dr. Shooting guard green every time, but like they hold him.
It makes no sense. Pink Diamond Mo Peterson. Have you guys looked at this card?
I looked at him because I actually pulled him. I actually did a 450K pack opening. My best pull was an Opal Jerome Williams.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you.
I got Mo Peterson.
He's basically got every shooting badge off.
Did I just hear 450K VC pack opening?
Yes, he did.
Did I just hear?
And I bought him.
Who were you trying to pull that bad that you wanted? Who were you trying to pull that bad that
Melo? I'm a Knicks fan.
Drop that.
I'm a Knicks fan. I gotta get Melo.
Look,
that's tough, bro. I literally saw the title of your stream. And I was like, this guy just dropped 450K VC on the worst pack.
At least I pulled the Opal. Look, at least I pulled the Opal. If
you're sitting there looking at radioactive packs and quantum bats going, nope. And then you see Pink Diamond Mo Peterson.
I pulled out of position.
I respect the passion and the love because that's what it should be. But like, 450, maybe 200K. You chuck a 200K pack opening. But then those boxes.
Melo's gonna go. His price is gonna go down quick.
Oh yeah, no, I'll wait to buy. I think he'll go to like 350 just because he's dark matter.
Yeah, I mean, you find some more MT in the street, you're good.
Back pocket.
Yeah. Mo Peterson's gonna be an interesting card because I think people will run him. He's basically got every shooting badge on Hall of Fame, but nothing else. Like
he's like a slightly worse defensive Malik Sealy, and like Mo Peterson has a money jump shot.
Yeah,
I compared the two today. I was like, okay, he's not a bad card, but he's not good enough to replace Malik Sealy. So I went and made that transaction. Got Thunder. What's his name? What's this man's name? PG 13%. Literally 13%. And then what about this Hakeem Warwick card? 6'9", 7 foot.
I mean, he's good. He's probably He curry slides, got Pro 3 behind the back. Like he is arguably the best value card in the set. Him or Kirk, is it Hinrich? I don't know how to pronounce it. Heinrich. That diamond card has 25 Hall of Fame badges on a diamond.
Wow, that's impressive.
Whoa, wait.
Is that Kirk? Is that Kirk Heinrich?
Yes.
Is that card? Oh yeah. I know. That's pretty cool.
Jackson?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. He seems like people are going to be running him. Like he's going to be that limited card. He might be like a Tyrese, something like that. Yeah, and then we got the other one, Michael. Is it Sweetney or whatever his name is? 6'8" center with a 74-3 ball. Like he's got
I don't look
straight in the bin.
What?
Straight in the bin.
I can't look at these amethysts, man.
Is that an average? Is that an average Wayne Embry?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Is that average Wayne Embry?
Way worse.
Cool. JJ, Triple J, Jaren Jackson Jr.
Yeah, we can talk about him. I had him in later, but yeah, we can talk about him now. Yeah. Talk to us.
People were telling me they're like, yo, he has Hall of Fame Showtime, and I'm like, wait, who are we talking about here? They said Jaren Jackson, Hall of Fame range, Hall of Fame clamps, interceptor, rim protect. I'm like, this is a free card they're giving us.
It takes 5 minutes to get him as well.
Yeah, he got the Mo Bamba base, so that's good for a big man. He could dribble the ball, you bursting around the court with him. I'm like, damn, for a free card, that's good. Like,
I think you're going to see him as like backup center in a lot of people's squads today.
He can compete. He has the stats to compete.
Yeah, he can. He can for sure. All right, guys. So, bit of a change of plans. The first time this happened on the podcast, but we were supposed to have Bio 2K on. Unfortunately, he just can't be on. He's got technical issues. He's away. He's been in contact with us and just said he's just got no signal where he is. That's totally cool. Like with us, that's fine. I mean, we'll book him again to come on again soon. We had a lot of amazing questions for him, but these things happen. We just got to ride with it. I'm sure you guys will join us for the rest of the podcast either way. And we've also got someone else on who we actually had booked to be on a podcast in a few weeks anyway. So we've got Klaze on with us. Klaze, how you doing, man?
Doing good. Thanks for having me on, Jazz.
No problem. You kind of stepped in like the knight in shining armor. To kind of say
red shining armor. Red shining.
I think I had a 15-second notice on this.
That's it. That's what winners are made out of, man. You step up when the time is there. Clutch as hell, man. That was
who's getting the last shot. You know what I'm saying? Find Klaze the ball.
Yeah, he's the guy you want with the ball in hand. You just moved back to the States, right?
Yeah, I just moved back last month. I was in Germany, stationed over in the military over there, and just finished my 20-year career and back in the U.S., moved to Boston. And it's exciting so far. Lots of video games, long walks around downtown, and making fun of my girlfriend who has to work all the time.
Congratulations.
You're obviously streaming at the moment as well, man. Your streams are really starting to pop off. Like, it seems like every time I go into one of your streams, there's like another 10 to 20 people in there. How are you finding it?
It's been a lot of fun. I've been able to do a few more things since I moved back to the US because I don't have my work commitments anymore. So it's been a lot of fun. We've had so much support from a lot of the community, including guys like JD Crossover, who you've had a few times on here, and a bunch of other big name streamers who, I've supported their streams a lot, and they've reciprocated the love and shown it right back.
Yeah, JD's the best, man. He's just the best.
He definitely is.
Yeah, he's just an amazing human. He's an amazing human. All right, let's get back into it then. So, I did have a joke lined up. I'm going to say it anyway. For Bio, I was going to ask him. Josh is still at level 39 for last season. Can he still get D-Rob? I'm genuinely gutted. I can't ask him that question because I was really looking forward to that. But let's talk about J.R. Smith, guys. Where are we at with JR? Because I think people are underselling him, particularly on current gen. What do you guys think?
I think, I was saying. It's kind of hard. These damn silence, man. They cannot.
That's a soundtrack of Brooklyn.
They cannot be serious.
Hey, that was the 2K community carrying J.R. Smith right there. That was right
The guy, someone reported you for stealing their 2 million MT, I think.
Wait, what? Hey, whoa, wait a minute now. But man, I mean, like, I'm a little iffy because like I made a huge upgrade to my team this past week, and I'm looking at my lineup. Where is J.R. Smith really gonna go? Like, like where is he really gonna go? And I'm not saying he's a bad card by any means, but like we're getting to that point where tall point guards becoming the meta. Like we just got out of position packs, and I'm pretty sure there's gonna be out of position 2, 3, maybe even a 4 if we get lucky. But I don't know. Like 6'6" was like it was a good height for a point guard. When we had like 6'3", 6'4" point guards and stuff. But now it's like, and his dribble 6, like they're not the best. Like Pro 2, cool. You could burst, cool on current gen. But then like his behind the back, oh no, he gotta get rid of that. But I don't know. I just think 2K got to make some adjustments to this card when it's available.
Yeah, you going for JR Klaze?
I go for every reward. I'm since I'm not very good online, I pride myself on getting everything offline, or I just grind the game a lot. Most people know me as a token man or whatever. I am going to get them, but I already do have Pistol Pete. I have another like 4,000 or 5,000 tokens ready to go whenever we need.
Yeah.
So Pistol Pete's pretty much a slightly better JR in my mind.
That's true. Yeah, on both gens. Yeah. I mean, Jacob was talking about JR. And he said obviously on next gen, I think he's got the slasher dribble style, which isn't going to work. Behind the back is an issue as well. I think on current gen, he just doesn't have the same issues. Like, dribble style is less relevant on current gen because every card can speed burst. And Ty's released a video on how to do it, so Unlimited's about to get crazy toxic. Like everyone's about to be speed boosted everywhere. I think JR Smith is getting overlooked. Like I basically cleared house this week. I've got 1 million MT. I sold Luka. I sold DeMar. I'm just waiting on the next week or two of content because I think it's going to go crazy. But I mean, like if I look at my backup point guard, which was John Wall, I mean, I'm running JR over John Wall, and I don't think there's that many point guards in the game better than him. And he's free. He is free. I think he's being.
Nah. By the time he comes, like, how long have you got until you probably get him? Just like
few days,
not too long. A few days. I still feel like he's just not be the best card is where it's a letdown for me. It's just if you're the level 40 grinders, like obviously it's easy to get this level 40, so I guess that kind of is why he isn't as OP. I reckon that's why they've made him not a crazy player because they made the grind so much easier. But yeah, I still wouldn't. He's top 3, and that's probably it. Not the best card.
I think every level 40 reward card has been the best card in the game when it's come out.
Yeah.
And now that we've gotten to the point where the stats are so ridiculous, everybody's got 70 plus badges after you add the badges. So every card has every badge in the game once you add them. Every card has all stats in the 90s once you have your coach, your shoes, things like that. So now it all becomes down to SIGs, height, and tendencies. And there's really it's all going to be based on the user and how your play style is what's going to be the best card. There's no more stats and badges to distinguish how good a card is anymore.
And it's crazy to say that in the middle of April, right? Like they've definitely blown their load on the content this year. There's no two ways about it. Like I feel like today the reason the content was so bad was to protect JR because he's coming out in 2 or 3 days to like the wider community. Like we are due an OP point guard and they just refuse to release it today, but they will release it next week. You know it's coming, right? The minute JR drops.
I think we're gonna get a Dark Matter LeBron soon. I think they're pulling punches right now. I give them end of the season, and I really thought it would have been today, but they made Melo shooting guard eligible. Hey man, Dark Matter Braun is just a matter of time. What if Braun becomes a lock-in for idols? You think they'll do that?
Yes.
Braun?
Yeah, I would say so because they want that set to be locked in somehow.
Oh,
I mean that's an ultimate money play for them. If they announce LeBron as a lock-in, then release.
Everyone's gonna grab these cards.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to lock. We're gonna have to get some more Mike Tyson on the street because, like I said, no matter the amount, LeBron James will be on my team.
Yeah, you better.
But last year, the GOAT Kareem card was probably the first actual game-changing card. I know there was point guard Ben Simmons, and there was all these cards that were great, but they still had weaknesses.
Yeah.
That GOAT Kareem lock-in was literally the first card that had no weakness anywhere you can possibly think of, and that was a lock-in card as well. Yeah. So, and it was around this time frame, so we are due for that really expensive lock-in set to have a card that's going to change the game.
Yeah, I think Kareem was a bit later, right? Because he was a GOAT card. I think what would he have been, around June?
I thought he was May, but I might be wrong.
He might have been, yeah, he might have been. I mean, like, he was the best card in the game apart from Yao, right? Even end game, like, there was only one card better than him.
We're about to get, at this point, next month, we would be getting Glitch point guard T-Mac around that time. We're in April right now. This is around the time Spotlight Sims was hot, where, you know, James Harden was one of the best opals. Who else was we getting? There was
I was like a month earlier. Because I only remember this because I had COVID last March, and I grinded all those spotlights in my hotel room in Las Vegas. I was on a work trip, and I was stuck in a hotel room for 3 weeks. I got back to Europe at the beginning of April, and I was ready to go. And that was when the Kobe grind was actually going on in April and early May.
Yeah.
So I actually got my Kobe at the beginning of May as well. Nice. So
yeah. Wow. Was it worth it?
I mean, what else was I gonna do? I was laying in a hotel room for weeks, calling Uber Eats to feed me, man.
You know what's funny? That's the exact same story for me. I got really sick with COVID, like really, really sick, and I got it in March, right when like no one knew what it was. Like the hospitals here wouldn't even let me go to the hospital because you weren't allowed to go to the hospital with COVID in case you spread it. And that's literally what got me into 2K. Like me being that sick for 3 weeks doing nothing else. I was like, oh, this game's free. I'll download this. Looks all right. And then a year later, I ruined my life. So that's where we are. Do you think JR will get updated?
Yeah, I would say so. Because they have the power, obviously, to do that before or like whenever they want, really. And like I'm expecting a lot of cards to get updated soon. Like in terms of reward cards, I feel like they may get a little bit of a bump in the next month or so. I do think they're gonna end up popping some cards just to try and revive a few of them, because I feel like some of them, like a D-Rob, if he got a little bit more, just a little bit of an upgrade, he's probably back to being one of the best centers in the game. And I feel like they'll do that.
I don't think there will be an update to JR, only because he became available with the glitch, Tyronn Lue, all that stuff. So people already have them. Yeah. So I don't believe he's actually going to get an update, because there's so many people already utilizing, so many people, I guess probably 50 people in the world utilizing that card already. Although I think there's 157,000 XP available now. So JR is available to anybody now.
It is today, is it? Right. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, they've got a history of updating cards after they were released. Westbrook is that example, right? You know, people have been using them for a month, I think, before they updated that jump shot. But I agree, Klaze. I think they won't update it. But I think there's one real reason for it, because no one's asking for him to be updated. Like with Kawhi, Terry came out and the whole community went, I'm not doing the XP anymore. I'm just going to grind for Terry. Like, he's a better version of that card. So they had to update him.
Because their pockets started hurting when they heard that. They said, oh, no, pockets. They said, no, can't have it.
Yeah. I mean, if JR could play in the same position as Danny Ferry, they'd be in exactly the same spot right now. Like, they've done it again with Ferry. But I just don't think anyone's putting the pressure on them to update it. Therefore, why would they? I think just if you're watching this and you want it updated, make some noise. Let's get that card updated.
Let's riot, people. Let's riot.
Yeah.
If I could just get 5 Danny Ferries in my lineup, I would call 2K21 complete at this point.
Yeah.
Danny Ferry.
That card, man. I mean, every time I use it, I've lost 2 games of TTO since I got that card. 2.
That's insane.
Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, especially in TTO, if you run him with like a point guard and a center, whoever he matches up against, unless your opponent's played 2 centers, it's a mismatch every time. Like,
and that is why I run Kareem and Wilt, and then I run Durant at the 1. That is why.
You're that guy.
Yeah, I am. I got to be that guy. You're the guy who wants to run Danny Ferry out there.
You're the guy who got 2 wins over me, yeah, for sure.
Going to TTO, man, I do miss being in the European servers. Because the US East servers are a little rough, man. I never knew speed glitching and stuff was so abundant until I moved back to the US. And I will say though, I'm surprised because I was expecting to just get to lose like 80% of my games. So over in Europe, I was winning 90% of them. But over here, I'm still winning like 75, 80%. So it's gone down a little bit.
Everybody, they're bots. They're bots.
People know how to do everything. They just don't know how to complete a play.
No, they do. They just do it because it looks good. They do it because it looks good.
Yeah.
Or
like dribble, speed, glitch, terrible release.
Yeah, like they'll just come
I love those games.
In outburst, smother 70%. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, get out of here, bro. Like, I take my little snatch back with KD, give him a little bit of room, green, not Kareem on the backdoor cut, showtime. Then I just do the same thing over and over until I score. That's it.
I literally, when I see people like that, you know, people who are literally just like that with the right stick, like they have no idea what they're doing. It's like 24 seconds later, the shot clock has run out. I'm like, do you not want to take a shot? Every time I play someone like that, I'll go for the cheese 3, like off the inbound, just to make a point. Like, it takes you 24 seconds to get a bad shot off. Watch this. It takes 2 seconds to score a 3. Like, it cracks you up every time. Okay, guys, let's talk about skill-based matchmaking. Like, we've covered this a little bit. Let's talk about it some more, because I'm going to do a video on this week. I haven't done like just a standalone video for a very long time, but I'm going to do a video on this week because I've got some quite interesting views on skill-based matchmaking as a whole. How are you guys finding it affecting you at the moment in terms of the game? Is it changing the way you're approaching it?
Oh, God. Oh, man. I got to get my headband when I want to fire up some damn unlimited. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, last week, this was probably like the worst time. If you don't like sweating, last week, when we got that agenda for that free Galaxy Opal, Paul Millsap, the damn best, oh my gosh, I was struggling. Like, I had a little budget team, like unlimited for myself. I got it done I probably went like, you need 12 games. I probably went like 12-3, 12-2. But Jazz must be like a sweat target. That account, people are targeting that account. Like, there is a little bounty sign on that account. I think Jaquel made a lot of people mad. And Tuki's like, you know what? We're going to throw all the sweats this way. Man, I was on stream for like 4 hours trying to get 12 wins. It was like
that's the crazy thing. Like Jaquel plays on my account, so I'm getting matchups based on his skill-based matchmaking, which is literally torture for someone like me. Like in the game, like I'm like jamming up against these pros. I'm playing 250k qualifiers. Like, it's interesting though. Like I'm kind of holding my own. My record actually this season is quite good. I think my win record's about 75%, something like that, just on my own. But there's not a single game that doesn't go the distance. Everything is a sweat. Most games I've won and most games I've lost could have gone either way. The days of that blowout every 2 or 3 games are just over. Like, they just don't exist anymore. 10 minutes to find a match, all of this stuff. Is anyone in doubt that skill-based matchmaking exists?
If you are, you're drunk.
I don't play enough unlimited to actually make an educated opinion. But I will say this last week, I was in the silver and gold tier. I hadn't played any unlimited at all. And I was still playing against people who already had Millsap when I was trying to get my Millsap. And I don't know I won't go and say it doesn't exist, because I'm pretty sure all the people who play this game, that mode a lot more than me, say it does. So I'll believe them before my opinion. But I'm not sure it actually exists. I just think it's that the quantity of good cards in the game, there's no weakness to all these free cards that are given out now. Look at that Jaren Jackson that came out today. Look at the Clyde Drexler a couple weeks ago. I mean, people are getting these amazing cards that can compete, that can curry slide, that can pro 3 behind the back, whatever. Or you can buy a Tyrese Halliburton or somebody else for 5 to 10K and go out there and compete with the best cards in the game, chuck on some badges, whatever, and now he has no weakness. So I don't know if it's necessarily just the skill base, because if I'm in silver tier, why am I playing Millsaps? That means that dude's won multiple tiers, multiple games, and I hadn't even started any of them.
The thing is, like, even though he's got Millsap, like, he might still have like a 50% win ratio, right? Like,
you playing people
with Millsap at his win 12 games. I'm sure there's people out there that play 40 games to get Millsap, right? Just played again and again until they can win. But there's just common denominators in like every person that I play. Like, they all do their settings, they all 5 out. Like there's a real meta that's built into basically every game I play now. Like I said, the days of blowing someone out, the odds are in the last 6 weeks or whatever, I would have got one blowout in Unlimited. Like, I'm not bad at the game. And if you compare it to Limited, where I've lost 2 games this season on Limited, like that's where there's no skill-based matchmaking, right? Limited is completely random. Takes me 3 seconds to find a game. Like, everyone I play is a scrub. And, you know, some of these scrubs are running good cards. Like, they are people I should be running into in Unlimited, but I'm just not. Like, the level of competition that I'm playing, I've never sweat like this. And you draw the comparison to this time last year. That's probably the best thing we can do, where cards were at a similar level, therefore the meta should be at a similar level, right? I mean, this time last year was the first time I went 12-0. Like, and I was way worse at the game than I am now. Like, it's not even in the same league.
And even like,
I don't know if it's
not even the cards. Like, you could tell from the place. Like Jazz said, like if they pause it, like I'm sitting down like this and I'm playing Unlimited, and they pause it, I'm like, all right, let me just sit up a little bit, because now they're doing their settings. Now I gotta put a little bit more effort. And if I'm sitting there trying to get bumpy, and I see you come in and out first, and I'm like, it's gonna be one of those. I gotta swing this game. They dying me. Like, you just know, like when you playing somebody who knows what they're doing. But there's some games that somebody's like, you can tell they're just bad, but it's very rare. It's very, very rare. And some people,
I think it's just
what is it? Boost. Some people boost, so they probably did that for Paul Millsap.
Yeah.
Potentially, but I just think it's the progression of the MyTeam game and the popularity. And I mean, it really, people weren't playing MyTeam for the most part until about 2K19. It wasn't really popular. There's the diehards that played it in 15 and all those, but really 19 was the one that kind of set the stage for it. People got really into it last year because of COVID, and it finished up the year. But now we're in a full year where people have committed themselves to this game a lot more. I mean, you look at the amount of YouTubers, the amount of stuff. You look at 2 or 3 years ago, there was a couple guys out there doing stuff. Now there's hundreds of people with their methods, with their strategies, with all the glitches. There's so much more popularity around the game mode. I think that's the main reason why it's that much better.
I see what you're saying. I mean, you are right. All of that is true. I just think with Unlimited, there's something overriding that, because there should be some parity between Unlimited and TTO in terms of the quality of opponents. There should be some parity between Unlimited and Limited. Okay, I'm expecting Limited to be more casual and TTO to be more casual, but my win records on those 2 modes haven't changed. Like, surely people are getting just as good in those modes as well. Like, people are that sweaty in Unlimited that they go into Limited and they're just as sweaty, but it's just not even close. Like, I've never experienced, like, I haven't played a game of Unlimited, and this is the point I'm really getting to. I haven't played a game of Unlimited for 6 weeks that I've enjoyed. Like, not one. No. Like, it is torture. Like, you're suffering through it. And, like, the question really is, like, what if they did add skill-based matchmaking? And, like, I understand what you're saying, Klaze, but I think the majority of the community feels this way. You're watching people like Jacob, Ty's losing games on stream. Like, crazy stuff is happening that we've never, ever seen before. Even Jakel, man, I watched your stream the other day. Like, you won all 3 games because you are that good. But I haven't seen you play 3 full games back-to-back in a long, long time that were competitive.
Yeah.
And that's what
I definitely believe in it now more, not just from myself, just from like watching. I've heard it enough from like enough comp people or enough people who play that mode like it's their life. So like, I know a dude who's on my server who plays probably like 300 games every season. Like, he is it's all he does. And he just, like, his win ratio has not gone down much, but he just said all the games felt so much harder. So
it's like they're all close. It's like back.
Yeah.
It's like you can't.
There's a lot to it. There's a lot to it. It might be skill-based matchmaking, but there's also, like, how he just said that everyone's getting better and stuff like that over the years. And, like, I'm telling you, in 5 years, these boys are going to be, don't even touch them unlimited streets. Them boys are going to be insane. But I agree with everything you all just said. Everything you all just said just honestly makes sense, and I think it's all like a mixture of all of that.
Yeah,
I mean, Ty dropping the source. Hello, like, he just dropped a burst video, a defensive video 2 weeks ago. People like, if a video dropped, let's say dropped the tips like a month ago, within a month time, somebody really know what they're doing and know how to apply that stuff, they're gonna be tough. And it's not gonna be like just a handful of, it's gonna be a majority of those people applying what that video taught them and being nice at the game. So it's like a mixture of, it's definitely skill based though. Like everybody's getting good skill based. Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Yeah. I mean, like, I agree as well. Like everything that's been said here, I agree with. I'm like in no doubt whatsoever that skill-based matchmaking exists. And like I said, the community's talking about it. We're seeing the best players in the world lose games all of a sudden in Unlimited. Ty came on the podcast 2 weeks ago and said it had been a year since he lost a game of Unlimited. And, you know, we've seen him struggling on stream in the last week because that comp is so high. But I do agree. I mean, I think this time every year, and I think Klaze is right, because the game was so popular, especially during the pandemic really created a slingshot for 2K, right? Where everyone just had the time to get way better at the game that they would have done if they were at work every day and all of these different things. And yeah, people are giving up the secrets now. It's not just Ty, there's other people. I think Isaac was the first one to release a kind of a really solid defensive video. Yeah. I think everyone's getting better. But I just need that break. Like if I'm going to try and go on a 12-0 run, like I'm someone who's never, ever going to sit there and sweat for 12 games. Like, I said the other day, I might as well be playing in the shower. Like the amount of sweat it's just the worst experience. I do not enjoy it at all. You need that one simple game, that blowout every now and then, just to break up the pace, just to kind of lock out for a few minutes. And
my thing for that, like what I would love for 2K to add is literally 2 unlimiteds, right? 2 unlimiteds, one's ranked, one's unranked. I would love that.
That's a great
you know
idea.
what I mean? So simple. But you make the unranked card obviously a little bit less, not as good as the absolute sweat one. But then we have like where I can go just to pretty much practice, but also grind and get a card kind of thing. And then there's also where exactly like you just said, you want to chill. Let me go to unranked and like actually play like unranked players. You know what I mean? Like because it's just. I don't know. It is a bit too sweaty for a lot of people now, and I hope it doesn't turn people away from the game because online is supposed to be also a lot of fun. Like 250k is where you're supposed to go, like sweat your life away. And I feel like if we make online all about just winning, like it kind of takes away the fun. It really does because not everyone can win like that. Like there's got to be fun in online, and that's how online's supposed to be. Like if we're not actually playing for money or anything, just don't like put your life on it like it's 250k.
2K have created a problem for themselves, right, with this. Now, as much as I'm complaining about skill-based matchmaking, there is something I actually like about it. It's done one thing that's really good. It stopped me caring about Unlimited. And that's 2 things. One, I don't feel like the need to play it as much. Like, I'm not sweating to get that 12-0 reward because, honestly, I can't do it again. Iggy was the last time I did it. You know, I had good runs in the following seasons, but Jacal finished them off. Like this season, even though I'm playing okay, I've got no desire to go 12-0 because I just know I'm not going to put myself through that, like that stress. I'm just not going to do it, which has allowed me to enjoy games a little bit more because I don't care about wins and losses anymore. So I'm not loading in going, I have to win this game or, you know, I won't go up a tier or I might go down a tier and all this stuff. So it's actually allowed me to enjoy the game a little bit more. The problem that 2K have got is introducing skill-based matchmaking, which, you know, leaves the odds of you winning a game somewhere between 40 and 60%, right? And with that combined 68-0 and that 12-0 they're looking for at the end and the 11-0 that they're looking for before that, the odds of DBG said this the other day, you're not going to see very, very many Michael Reds in the community. Like, how do you go on a perfect 68-0 run when you're in 50-50 booking? What are the odds of that actually happening? What are the odds of someone actually getting Michael Red right now? How badly has it been reduced? And ultimately, is that turning people off the game mode to the point where it's making it irrelevant?
I mean, I know me personally, like I know I've been playing in tournaments and stuff lately, which is like it's a little bit different from Unlimited. But like Unlimited, I can't sit there and take that serious. I can't be like, I could be locked in for like 5 minutes. Dude hits a contested shot, pause, quit out, and just have to win, man. Because like I don't know if you guys notice, I feel like they kind of buffed the sliders. And even playing on Hall of Fame, you notice a lot more contested shots and whites going. I don't know if they only updated like skill-based matchmaking. I think they also kind of boosted some slides. I don't know what the hell they're doing with the game at this point. It's like,
I mean, that could be the cards, right? That could be the cards just getting way, way better, right?
How you knocking down a contested shot without steady?
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
difficult. It's a lot
mean,
to
next
it. There's-
gen, yeah,
the
next gen
cards are
standard,
too
yeah.
damn good. The cards are too damn good for the difficulty. That's the other thing. It's just we've already harped on this before. You can't have online versus, which is pretty much rookie pro. You can't have that with Hall of Fame cards with 70 badges, 99 free ball. You just can't.
Yeah.
It's just silly.
I mean, the last video I done, and this is a point as well, you know, like there's an argument going on in the community right now about whether when 2K21 came out, we obviously had stick shooting, all of that stuff. And people are kind of, there's two people in particular who have kind of said that they preferred it, which is DBG and Hoove. Both of those guys have said, like, you know, we asked for a skill gap, that was the skill gap, and then we complained about it, and then they took it away, and we get into that same.
That's how the community is. That's literally what we do. The whole community.
Here's the problem though, Josh. Like, I agree with them 100%. They were right. They were right in what they said. But there is a middle ground. And I don't understand why 2K failed to find that middle ground again and again and again. It doesn't have to be one extreme or another. It doesn't have to be a completely broken mechanic, which was shooting at the time. And I think they could have figured it out and maybe would have adjusted to it. And if they stuck with it a little bit longer, didn't give in, we'd probably be in a better place now. I do agree with that. But then we went, oh, that's like, we're not used to that. Can you change it, please? So they put it on rookie. Like, where is the middle ground? Why could you not put it on superstar difficulty? And like, surely that would please everyone right now.
I think it's definitely the community to blame, because like it's different from our perspective, but then it's like you look at the developers, we don't know who's really behind the scenes, but it's like if you look at Twitter posts, like anytime MyTeam posts something, there's never a majority of positive comments. It's always negative comments. Fix your game. Your game is so fix this, fix that. And it's like that could be overwhelming. Like every little tweet, whether it's an update, content drop. So I'm not saying they can't find the middle ground, but it's like who the hell are we supposed to listen to when it's like a community that can't even at least come together somewhat? Because the community is very divided. Like the community is very divided. And we can't even come together and agree on one thing. So it's like it's both roles, whether it's the community and 2K, we both play a role in it. And I feel like the community has to get better first before the game gets better first. Because at the end of the day, they make the game and like they kind of decide what game they're gonna put out. But if we could come together as a community, I feel like our voices would be more heard. If we could if we could have a majority vote on something and stick by it.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, the unlimited reward hasn't been good all year in any season. So what's the want to actually even do that? I don't even grind unlimited because of that reason. I think I got Iguodala because I was in Europe and playing easy people and not everybody was cheesing yet.
Same.
But other than that, like what's the purpose? I never used that Iggy card once. You know, like it's for a flex only. If you're not going to put a good reward out there, what's the point of even playing unlimited other than just say I'm better than you? Or so for me, I don't even mess with the mode too much. To go back to Jaquel's point with the different, the casual and non-casual lines of unlimited, do what we did with hero cards. Make the competitive version like Hero Luca that has one half badge more, and make the non-casual one the Quantum Luca who has one badge less. The real people who are that hardcore about the game are going to grind out that hero type Luca on the sweaty unlimited path. Somebody like me who wants to get better at the game, enjoy it. I'm going to go down that Quantum Luca path as an example and go get the similar card. It's not quite as good, but it's still the same card, and you ultimately get to have the same fun in the game. That's my thoughts.
That's brilliant.
I agree, bro. That's awesome. That's exactly what we need. Like, it'll just bring so much more like togetherness with unlimited. Because at the moment, it's like if you ain't a sweat, you know, you're getting palmed off. You ain't coming in these games and winning. So it's like I agree. Like you need that split, but it also like keeps the community together because we're still grinding for the same card. But it's just, you know, obviously the better players get a little bit better of a player, but you guys can still have fun, man, and that's what it's about. Like
Klaze,
that's what I want.
Danny Ferry was the reward in Unlimited this season. Would you be going?
Oh, it'd be disgusting.
Oh, hell no.
I wouldn't. If Danny Ferry was the reward in Unlimited, I would probably win 5% of my games.
Yeah, man.
I win 20% of my games.
I would delete the game.
But again, that's when do we decide what's enough? People want a better reward. If a better reward comes, then all the sweats are coming out and nobody wants to grind for that because they can't win. Like you guys were saying, 2K can't find a middle ground because there's no middle ground of play, of capability of playing this game. I grind this game probably in the top 1 percentile of the whole community, but I suck at unlimited. So I'm going to go grind my stuff, get my tokens, flex my pistols and my 3,000 cards and all that stuff. But I can't go do it in this mode. So it's just how you want to enjoy the game. You're never going to find something that's going to be the answer for everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you got to give up something. It's like something has to be given up, but I feel like it should be the lesser. And like, if it's the point to where people aren't enjoying the game, you're doing something wrong. The point of a game, whether it's competitive or not, is for people to enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Like Jaquel brought it, like that unlimited thing is a good idea. Like maybe not even calling unlimited, maybe have unlimited still, but then like a super max kind of thing where it's like different tiers and it's like that's where the real sweats could go. You know what?
Just something else for
else different. Yeah, like just like
guys. I hate to point out the obvious, but isn't 250K that thing already?
Not really, because even the qualifying system is bad. Like
it's because it's once. It's because it's once. If they did that regularly, that would be that much.
Like the tournament, like because like you know what, you do actually make a good point, because I noticed there's like a play now freaking tournament every week for $100, and it's like, why can't we do that with more people play MyTeam than they play now? Like I'm pretty sure more people play MyTeam than they play now.
Oh, by miles, miles.
I jumped on my league this week and it was lit, guys. I played my league for about maybe 2 hours. Well, like I do rebuilds and stuff on there, but I played it and I was actually playing the games. I built a bit of a god squad. I was having the time of my life.
Yeah, look. Here's a little hack for anyone. Okay, if you can't afford these cards in MyTeam and stuff like that, and you still just really only play offline, go into my league. Look up 2K database, look up their SIGs, their attributes, their badges, and go and edit players, and then you can just use them.
Hilarious.
Okay, you don't even got to spend no money on this game. You don't got to buy no packs, no MT. You can do that on my league. Like a lot of people probably don't even notice that. Like you can go and do that, but yeah, look up the players, do their SIGs. I know you don't get to look at the actual card and enjoy that hero, version.
It's
of the card.
so funny, Jaquel, because you're so right. Like, if you take the shiny cards away. You can create every one of those cards in my league. Yeah, I can go and create one of them. And if all you're doing is grinding offline, you never have to wait for content. You don't have to wait for spotlights. You don't have to wait. You can build it like in the game and just do it whenever you want. It's so strange to me. Like that's why actually the reason I played my league, because I said it in a video. You saw it a couple of weeks ago, right? Where I was like, if you're predominantly playing offline, you might want to think if MyTeam is the right mode for you. Like, my league is right there. It's fully customizable. So I tested it out this week. I was like, I'm going to jump on my league for 2 hours. Man, the amount of fun I had, like the idea of training as well to build those squads and things like that. Like I had a blast. Honestly, it was so much fun. I know it's not the cool thing to say. I don't really care about that, but it is what it is. Like
hashtag #LoserJazz. Guys, put that in the comments. Hashtag #LoserJazz. Put that in the comments.
I want it again.
Yeah, some cast god.
Yeah,
but it's a good little.
Hashtag
it's a
not
little
the vote
change.
god.
Like, but like think about it. If you had like a right community too, and you had a 30 solid group of like 30 people you trusted, you all like enjoyed each other, like that, you could run a my league that's I promise you 100 times funner than MyTeam.
We did that. I ran a MyTeam, like Jack back. Shout out to him. He made a my league, right? He made it a tournament where 300K is the prize. MyTeam cards, he literally updated that roster and put it into my league, and we all played like we did a fantasy draft. It was dope. Right now, I think it's in the finals. I think Zeb and Dope Boy play.
Do you want to know what's funny about that, Josh?
What?
You're a MyTeam guy, correct?
Yeah.
I have never ever seen you that heated and that toxic as when you lost that game. That
was bad. It was bad. It was bad. Like it was bad.
In my league,
I couldn't do anything to stop. I don't know if the slot, because like the cards are the same, but like you never seen anybody just run with LeBron and they win the game by 30. Like you've never seen that. There's got to be different sizes or something.
Yeah, he might have changed. He might have had different difficulties and stuff like that.
No, we played on Hall of Fame. I put Scotty in front of LeBron every time. This is LeBron. This is Scotty. This is LeBron. Every time. Hall of Fame clinch. Just go get a bucket. Go get a bucket. Dunking. I was like, no way.
You played so badly, dude. And you called him up for 30 minutes in your stream after. It's so funny to watch. Okay, guys, so if we do have skill-based matchmaking in Unlimited, why do we have it?
Asking for it for a while, but it's random. The fact that they do it now is random. In the middle of a freaking game, like,
in the middle of a season, yeah.
Yeah, in the middle.
It would have been it would have been smarter to do it like before 250k because like that helps people get better.
When the game drops,
yeah.
When the best time to do it, because then we used to it. We're like, okay, I know when I get unlimited, I'm gonna play somebody gonna give me a good game. Let's do this, you know. But then to do it mid-year was like we're just casually playing. It's like you're like, hold up, I gotta sit up. This dude is actually nice. Like,
what do you think, Klaze?
Like you can't even just relax anymore. Gotta sweat.
I mean, I still think it's exactly what the community has been asking for. People who don't play the game and who are not good at it are saying, "Hey, I can't go play Ty Debo every game in Unlimited, or what? I will never play this game again. So we're going to allow him to play some Cupcake, and then vice versa. You get a guy who's amazing at the game, who's trying to practice, trying to get prepared for a tournament, trying to be, all that, and he's playing that same Cupcake." And he's up by 87 points in the third quarter. Like, how both people are unhappy in that instance.
Yeah.
So then they're like, okay, let's fix this. We'll make it okay. If you're really good, you're going to play really good people. If you're really bad, you're going to play really bad people. And then now that's happening, the really good people are complaining about it because they're having a difficult time getting the top rewards.
That's the point. No middle ground. Like we don't come together as a community. We ask for something, we get what we want. Then we're like, what do you like? They said shooting. There's like they want the skill gap, right, with the shooting thing. Like besides shooting stick or anything. Game first came out, nobody can shoot. Cool. Everybody complained. They make shooting too damn easy. All right. Then it's like there's no mid. Like it's like you know what I'm saying. Like you just said, the people complain. It's us. Like we're part of the problem too. Like we can't put everything on two. Like we definitely are part of the problem. What I will say is for them to do it the middle of a game is a little bit weird to me. Like that's the only thing I will say. The middle of the game is weird.
I will say it's probably good they're doing it in the middle of the game because, of course, the big tournament's over, right? This is basically beta for 2K22 at this point. Right. Why not try to figure out what works, what doesn't work, get it done, so when 2K22 launches, hopefully we have a better product than we had when 2K21 launched and it was all over the place and there was all, everybody was up in arms. I'd rather have them interrupt this game, fix it now, and be good for 2K22 instead of trying to figure out what works for it next year.
That's a really good take.
I feel like it is good because like me and Jazz talked about this a lot. We just feel like this is kind of like a filler game, even though we're on current gen, even 2K21 next gen. It's like a filler game. We're about to transition to like where most people should have P5s by the time 2K22 come out. So like I even said with the whole XP thing, even though content is oversaturated, I feel like they're kind of testing the waters, like trying to figure it out to prepare for 2K22. I would not. I'm almost 90% sure we're gonna have an XP grind next year for MyTeam.
Oh, 100%.
I would go to 100%.
Yeah.
That's kept people on the game so much more than any other.
It's made them way more money than any level of online play could ever do. Yeah, I agree. We talk about the community being divided. I mean, it's literally divided, right? People are playing two different games right now, and I think that's affecting a lot of this as well. There's another reason 2K have done this, and it seems like every time I look at any content, anyone's stream, or even Josh right now, this just plays out. When competitive players are struggling to beat other competitive players, especially when their reputation hinges on it. This is really tough for some people. Like I'm watching people stream. This is a really bad situation for some people. I don't want to undersell it. They've built reputations on the fact that they go 12-0. They run 12-0 on other people's accounts. All of that is dead. Like the best players that I watch stream are having a nightmare on this game. So what are they going to do? They're matching up against people skill to skill who are the same. Close, right? Slightly better, slightly worse, whatever, close. But the game is effectively 50-50. What's the one thing that's going to give them an edge?
Algo.
No. Yeah. Money.
Money?
Yeah. The one thing that will give them an edge is if they buy better players. And I'm seeing it again and again and again. People who are no money spent have started spending money on the game this week. Josh, look at your situation.
I had to, man.
In the last week, you found MT on the floor. you know, million pounds of MT, and then you busted 450k worth of VC today. That was all in the last week. When was the last time you spent money on the game before that?
Who knows? Like, who really knows? Not that recent.
Yeah.
Not that recent. A long time ago.
I mean, Josh would have a better team if he just didn't fall asleep.
It's gay.
It doesn't take money.
Oh my god.
Oh, he got hit with the 39 bug.
This is Jazz Studio Live, Klaze. Studio Live. You just set it up, man.
Klaze is coming up clutch again and again tonight. Love it.
I agree, because like no matter what, okay, this is no matter what. This is just reality. No matter what 2K do with anything, there's money behind why they're doing it. Okay, so like skill-based matchmaking, there'll be a thought process to why they do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love how people think, like, when you say stuff like this, oh, they're doing it for the money, people sometimes respond to you like it's a conspiracy. I'm like, they're a business trying to make money. They're supposed to make money.
If they don't make money, they can't be a game anymore. Like, they have to make money. Like, obviously. You know
that's literally their job.
Sometimes it's, sometimes you can tell it's a little greedy, like they really grabbing you real hard, but that's just how it is. Like, and that's reality. That's why I actually respect so much of what DBG says on his like videos and stuff. Like he always says, hey, let's try and help them make money, but also help us, if you know what I mean. Like
he said something to me the other day. He said something to me the other day. He literally said, I said something like, I'm not enjoying Unlimited, or I'm not going to play it anymore, whatever. I can't remember exactly what I said, but his response was, Jazz, I told you, I've been saying this for ages. The minute you stop playing Unlimited, this game becomes way, way more enjoyable. Now, think about that's DBG saying that, right? That is he really does speak for the majority of the community. I'm just going to put it out there, right? You've got a whole host of different people that have voices in the community. Some represent, comp level players. Some represent super casuals. I think DBG is that guy who really does think before he speaks. He gets some hot takes on some cards. That aside, Utah's not a top 10 card in the game. Outside of that, he really does hit the nail on the head with how the community is feeling. And he put up a post the other day, and if you, like I said, you look at my Twitter feed, it's all the same. Back to back to back to back, people just complaining about Unlimited. He told me he ran a team of Emeralds, and he ran into Michael Red the other day.
What are we doing?
Like,
what are we doing?
What are we doing?
Michael freaking Red against some Emeralds. He won by 15, didn't he?
Yeah, that's what I said to him. I was like, you still won, right? You just post took him death. Just get Shaq and post up, man. You're good. So it leads to another question, right? If the majority of the community isn't playing Unlimited anymore, and I know, Klaze, you say you don't play it much anyway. I think there's a lot of people that have been playing it that have stopped playing it, like myself. I think you're basically left with the Jakels of the world and the Joshes of the world who are trying to do this, and no one's having an easy go of it anymore. So I think more and more people are going to stop playing it. The real question now is, outside of just card collecting, like that aside, why are we picking up cards?
I think it's just to have that like final squad. So last year, I pride myself, A, no money spent, and B, to have the best cards available. I was one of the first people in the world, I'm guessing, who had all 22 GOATs cards last year. Even had the duplicate Giannis, the duplicate LeBrons, all that, and I was no money spent.
Yeah.
You can do this no money spent if you put some time and effort into it and just, use the market. Listen to a guy like Spacewood Bird. Keep 50 guys up in the auction house at all times.
Yeah. If
you just have cards in your inventory, you can sell Jazz Heat Checks cards for 200,000 MT every week, or Memphis Grizzly cards. I sold 50 Memphis Grizzly cards for 300K today.
You told me to do that today in stream. Was that you? Oh, somebody else?
I mean, everybody. I always say that. I didn't stream 2K today, but
No, somebody came to my stream and said, "Sell your." That was Sam, I think, or somebody. But somebody told me sell Grizzlies players today. Is it challenges out?
Yeah, it was for the Jaren Jackson. And it was the same thing with the Jazz players earlier this week or last week, and it was the same with the Clippers players. If a challenge comes out, just having cards in your inventory allows you to make hundreds of thousands MT. And I literally, this week, I bought Wilt and I bought DeMar DeRozan off of MT I've made just by having cards in my club.
Yeah, you were saying this. What did you say on stream the other day? You said you basically got DeMar for like 50K because you flipped X amount of cards, basically.
I sold 3 Gary Trents and 15 Heat Check Clippers cards for $200K after taxes. And then I bought DeMar for $230.
I mean, you are right. I haven't spent a penny on the. I haven't grinded as much as I did last year. Like I really put some time into the whole no money spent grind last year. I spent time on the game. I spent time every day sniping, things like that. I'm like part-time in the game and I've got 1 million MT. Like, and my squad is goated. Like it really isn't difficult when it comes to spending money. But I get what you're saying. The problem to me is it doesn't. When people talk about 2K now, it doesn't sound like a basketball game anymore.
What does it sound like?
It sounds like a card collecting game.
Yeah.
I play it for a card collecting game, and I'm a big fan of basketball.
Yeah.
I don't play it for necessarily because it's a basketball game. Yeah. I love the NBA. I've grown up since I was, the late 80s when I was a little kid to today, diehard Blazers fans, go Blazers. And, just loving the game, loving all the players, the history, stuff like that. And I love seeing cards, especially, you get a Terry Deschinger. I was like, oh, I remember reading in a Blazers almanac that he was with the Blazers back in the 70s for a season or something. I still remember that name. I love thinking about the history and stuff whenever a card comes out. Oh, I remember when I was when Kobe got his 81 points. I remember where I was when Scott Skiles got 30 assists. And things like that. It's such a cool thing when they reenact it and you see the cards and things like that, and brings the history of the game. But I do it for the card collecting, not for the basketball playing itself.
And the nostalgia aspect of what they're doing this year is at a whole other level. Like they have smashed it. There's no two. In terms of content in general, apart from a mistake I think they've made in the last couple of weeks, I think they've killed it. Like there's no two ways about it. Everything about what they've done. The pacing was really good. They were bringing shine to these players that we've never heard of. People fighting for Terry and Daddy Ferry and all of this stuff. They've done that so well. And I think the card collecting element of this year has been different. I think the graphics they put on the cards, the themes, the Age of Heroes stuff was incredible. Like the first, I've never been big on any 2K cards that have been released, but when they released that Age of Heroes set, I went, that's amazing. Like if these were real life cards, I would collect them, and I would. But it just isn't a basketball game anymore. Like the purpose of 2K is we're supposed to go on, we're supposed to build a team, we're supposed to take that team online and competitively play against someone else. And less than 1% of the community is doing that right now. Like, it's just weird. Like, for me right now, I feel like if I was going to spend money on VC, I would rather just buy some IRL packs.
IRL packs or buy some Tyson?
I mean, what's the difference? I would rather have the real card at this point.
Yeah.
If I'm going to card collect.
Yeah. For me, in real life cards are to me, they're actually amazing. And that's honestly why I love MyTeam even more now, because I've been collecting in real life cards. So you saying it is so, it's so true. And I think people also do love that collecting feeling in MyTeam. I don't think it's just about playing the game. And I think that's where 2K makes all their money anyway. It's not off the Ty Debos, it's off the casuals who just love collecting and have that passion for basketball in collecting. So I think they've nailed it. And I think that's why they really aim for the packs and stuff like that to try and get a lot of money, because it works. People love to collect, man. You see those hero cards. What do you think most of the community is doing? They're ripping packs. Yeah,
it's just the value. You open an IRL pack, you resell it in 10 years, and you've got something to show for it. It's just this is entirely new psychology behind the way 2K have approached this. Because other games, their online competitive modes are just way more balanced than 2K. It just is. I mean, someone was telling me the other day about how MLB works. It sounds perfect. It sounds like a really good system. The way FIFA works, really good system. Everyone can get a sense of achievement, even if they're not going to get to the highest tiers or the biggest rewards. With 2K, it's just all or nothing on this ridiculous grind to get to the end of it. And like I said, I think people have just lost interest in it. They've lost the passion for it. Do you know what says more than anything? They've literally dropped Unlimited from Win the Weekend. Have you noticed this?
Yeah.
Really?
Even 2K aren't bothered if we even play a game. They used to make us play. What was it before? Klaze, do you remember what it was before? It was 5 games of Unlimited. Then it became 1. And now it's just none.
Yeah. One from 5
it used to be
2.
a lot.
Yeah.
And plus all the individual, small forward points in a game or, it was so much Unlimited. Now it's rarely even one thing, maybe play one game or, it's.
Yeah, and occasionally they'll drop unlimited XP like they did with Miltap, and it'll always be like a really good reward. Like it'll be something that gets people on the game mode for a day, maybe here and there. But I mean, unless you're in kind of Jekyll's league, I mean, there's no reason to play unlimited anymore. That's kind of the conclusion I've come to.
Somebody
I
had
agree.
the audacity.
Even I'm almost like done with unlimited, to be honest. Like for unlimited, for me, it's just I'm looking at it as a content creator, and where I'm gonna go. Like I'm obviously still gonna do it just because I can do it pretty easily, but for me, it's just not even like fun like that. I have to make the fun for my videos and for like what I'm going to do in the future as being a content creator. And that's aiming for like being entertaining and having fun. You got to have fun with this damn game. And I'm honestly like sick of watching just gameplays and stuff like that of just sweats, because so what you can sweat in an unlimited game. We've seen it for years. Like I really want to just mix it up. Like I'm not saying I'm going to retire from comp, but like I'm not going to be sweating like I used to, or even trying to get really much better at the game until 250k magically appears and it's an actual opportunity for me. Like this game is going to become a lot more fun for me and a lot more less serious. So,
yeah.
Hey,
I mean, you've played like 12 games of Unlimited this season, Jakel, on my account.
Yeah.
And the 2 games you lost, you had the most fun with. Like, I literally, that's what happened. Like, you ran the stupidest squad I've ever seen anyone run. And you ran into
Utah. My man, Utah was.
What was the team that you ran? Do you remember? There's a video.
Utah, Lionel Richie, I think a Jason Richardson, and then I can't remember the bigs. They were
Yao. You ran Yao.
I ran the Diamond Yao, who was so slow. Wow, he was so slow.
Thaddeus Young was the
powerful Magic.
Thaddeus Young.
Yeah, Galaxy. Utah was being guarded by Magic Johnson, and he was going at Magic Johnson. Like, and that's the fun. That's the fun of the game, and like that's how I want the game to be, because I don't want everyone just using meta and stuff like that. Because like Unlimited's not that serious, and I feel like people mix up Unlimited with a 250k. They get this idea that that's like the same. You're in the same realm, but you're just not like. Yeah, it's not.
There's nothing on the line.
Cal could have won those games too. Like I watched them. It's a 3-point game.
Yeah.
Wide open, straight arm. I was like, dang.
Yeah.
It happened twice. I'm like, dang. He really.
But I'm fine with it. And like he's right. Like I had so much fun, and then when I'm editing those videos, I'm having so much more fun. So it's like, why wouldn't I want to do that? Instead of if I go through on like in my crazy 50-60 win streaks, like to me, I don't even have that much fun. So like,
it's not fun until it's over.
Yeah.
And
this stuff is really affecting like content creation as well, because like the last gameplay video I did, I think was the one where I said like the 10 most famous players in basketball history, right? And I ran Donald, Terry Dishinger, all of that stuff, and like it was fun because I could load into a game and I was like, it might be a good player, but more than likely it's not. I'm on the EU server. I always feel very confident when I loaded into those kind of gameplays that at the very least I'd have a good competitive game. More than likely I would blow my opponent out. And in those gameplays, like every gameplay I've done, I've pretty much blown my opponent out. The thought of doing something like that now is just no chance. There is no chance I'm taking that squad into Unlimited.
I didn't upload in a month because of the simple fact that I'm not about to say there's no way I can commentate and have fun and I'm sweating. Like Jazz, you see me when I'm sweating and I'm like I don't talk. I look at the screen, I'm like, I don't talk. Versus when I'm just playing around, you get the little showtime, you get a green screen, you get stuff like that. But like I'm sweating. I don't want to say I want to get back on. It's not fun. Like, you know what I'm saying? Sweating isn't fun. Like sweating isn't fun. Like there's got to be some way to
your catchphrase when you're losing is "Oh my god." Like,
oh my god.
just
like that. Just like, oh my god. Like if something bad's happened, like sometimes I just gotta stop talking. Like Jazz literally watched me get algo effed in the third quarter of a freak. I'm down with like what six straight fouls are called to me.
6 straight fouls at the hoop. Yeah, it was hilarious.
I'm just like, yo, bro, like what do I do, man? Like,
and this we've been over this like a few podcasts ago, like about trying to almost make up fun for yourself on this game and in this game mode, on Unlimited, whatever. Offline, you got to make up your own fun. You got to enjoy it, and like you have to now with Unlimited. Like, and that's where I want to head. I want to head down that path of just I'm just having fun. I'm using lineups that nobody's using. I got to create a series that I can do that's like that too, where it's like just totally left. Like I don't want to be like everyone else, and I don't want to just sweat. It's just not that fun.
Like you doing your thing with the Fook series, like that. That's actually, I like those. And every time you use the clip of me laughing, it takes me out every time. I see that. I'm like,
But you see the difference. Like I can't use those kind of edits in the serious videos. If I'm on a 30 win streak, when can I ever use your laugh?
Yeah, it's true.
Like, well,
you know what I mean?
you get somebody hit a game winner, you're not going live. You just ended my 30 game win streak. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be like,
yeah, it's gonna be serious as boring as. Like I love like the whole Lionel Richie. You know what I mean? I use him with Lionel Simmons. You know what I mean? Like I cut that in. Like that's fun to me. That's so damn fun. And just, I don't know. Like, and I feel like for streams and stuff like that too. Like, I think you'll explode better when you're just enjoying the game.
Yeah, it's true. No, I mean, like, this is another thing. I mean, Klaze, you tell me what you think about this as well. This is something I've heard streamers start saying it in the last week, really almost exclusively. And there was a conversation going on in Jacob's stream a couple of days ago where he was saying this. And like DBG was in the chat, Ty was in the chat, and it became this whole kind of group conversation about this one thing, which is they don't want to stream and play anymore, like especially online. Like before they could, because you would get that game every couple of games, right, or blowout. And for these guys, probably every 6 games was even competitive, right? So they kind of chilled for 5 games of playing. Now that it's sweating every single game, they're finding it really hard to focus on the gameplay as well as the chat and things like that, and to keep it interesting and the conversation moving. So they're literally like, if I'm going to actually try and go 12-0 now, I'm going to do it offline. Like, Klaze, how do you find that balance between like playing, especially when you're playing online, whatever it is, TTO, things like that, and streaming at the same time?
I just don't play unlimited for one, because that helps me. I go into autopilot on Triple Threat Online. I literally just run up the court on the right side, snatch back. I can either shoot the shot if the guy's playing off of me, or I can turbo to the rim, which also induces a speed boost on current gen, past him. If anybody drives down, I kick it to the guy he came off of and have an open 3 or have an open dunk. It's the ultimate triple threat position while moving. So I don't really even need to think about it. I can get 80% win totals just doing that, and it allows me to focus on chat. And
I've never checked out your stream, so you're just talking a lot? Are you talking a lot?
He's really good at it. Klaze is probably the best I've seen at engaging while playing. Yeah.
I try to talk and I try to engage, because for me, it's more about the stream than it is about the game. People obviously they don't come to watch me for gameplay, because I'm below average.
Right.
I just I'm a normal guy who plays the game way too much.
Yeah.
And people can relate. They don't really care that if I go 12-0, if I can do 17 Curry slides to a speed boost to a 360. They don't care. It's more about like, hey Bob, how you doing from Nebraska, or how's your mom been, or it's more about the community. And I learned that, again, shout out to JD, starting to watch him originally. People aren't going to JD to watch gameplay either. No. They're going because it's a community, and you're building relationships and friendships and stuff like that. I'm developing real life friends from this. I'm going to a Red Sox Mariners game next week with another streamer.
Really? That's awesome.
And then next month I'm going to a Braves Red Sox game with Coach Bravos. I think you guys know him. And Coach Bravos, he's a big supporter in a lot of people's streams.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm meeting people from that and just hanging out with them in real life and having real relationships. And it's not about, whereas if I go into a Ty Debo stream, the dude because he's he's the best in the world, he's got to sit there and concentrate.
Yeah, his reputation's on the line every game, isn't it? Yeah.
And you type something, and obviously he's not reading it because he can't, because he's got to do. And then people in the chat's like, "Oh, Ty's locked in, he can't talk." I'm like, then why am I here? Why?
I don't think it's on the line. They put that pressure on him. It's like he said, he has nothing. He already made it clear in the chat.
Yeah, I love what he said the other day. I love what he said the other day.
For one, he won the world. Like, he won the he's the best in the world. He could lose the tournament tomorrow. He's still the best in the world. Because like I had an argument with somebody the other day. They tried to be like, oh, they try to call me trash, you know, and like, cool, you can call me trash, but I'm like, yo, did you qualify? No. Did you win 250? No. So who are you? We're in the same boat. Like, what can you really say to, like, we have the same.
That's very true.
Player lounge, that doesn't mean that you're just winning for money. Okay, cool. You're not the best in the world. So like Ty, and like I'm not saying like he doesn't have to engage, and he even in tournament games he engages in chat. But then if it's somebody tough, you know, he'll lock in. But like people try to say his reputation, it's not on the line. Like this man won everything. Like don't like and I could see sometimes it kind of gets to him. Like, you know, sometimes it will get to people making like comments like him losing the gym. I could tell that kind of bothered him because of the comments. I feel like he
actually cut off his like he just said, "Oh, I'm leaving the stream because you guys are about to annoy me."
I bet you because of the chat.
That's what he said. He said you guys are starting to annoy me. That's what
he lost a game about a week ago. And this is the thing about Ty, like just turned 21, and we've had him on the podcast twice, and every time I talk about him, I forget that he's 21 years old because it blows my mind the composure he has. I was a moron when I was 21. Like I don't understand how he is the way he is. But basically, he lost a game. It was an unlimited game. I think he was using his no money spent team or something. Like he wasn't running a very good squad. Anyway, he loses a unlimited game. And someone in the chat said something like, because I think he lost another game as well a few days before that. Someone in the chat said, imagine losing 2 games and calling yourself the best player in the world. That was the comment. Like, First of all, I mean, dude, get off the internet. Like, you're an idiot. Second of all, the way Ty handled it, he basically just said, look, I've never had anything to prove to anyone else. It's not even about 250K. It's not about the global championships. I've never wanted to prove anything to anyone else. So it's not like I'm at a point now where I won 250K and now I'm like, oh, you know, I don't need to prove anything. I've never felt that way. The only person I've wanted to prove things to is myself. And this happens. And he's like, I've got nothing to play for right now. Like my entire game is just irrelevant for the next year. And like, you know, in his mind, he knows he's going to be light years ahead of where everyone else is 3 months into the game next year. He's in his downtime. He's chilling. And that's why I say by the pressure. I think Ty never feels pressure. If he felt pressure, he wouldn't be the 250K champion.
I think he
doesn't feel it. But yeah, people have that expectation of him. And I said this to him on the podcast, you know, it's really tough being Ty because that expectation is just relentless.
And I wasn't just referring to Ty either. I mean, I probably follow 40 or 50 2K streamers.
Yeah.
And, you know, when 3/4 of them might go in and they're in a MTM tournament or an MTL or a players lounge, I don't even know what they're all called, or he's doing this or that, or I'm doing a wager. I'm like, I will say hello, get no response. And then I'll leave and I'll go watch some small person who's going to read a comment and interact with me. And I guess that's what I enjoy about the streaming aspect. It's not about the gameplay for me at all.
Yeah, that's just like, that's kind of just made me think, you know, like that's where I want to go. Like I want to just build relationships, build friendships with people, actually like know them, know their actual real life name, and actually like and know, like, you know, I'll know, oh, you were doing this yesterday, you said something about that. Like that's how I want to be in stream, because like I love watching Ty's streams still just for the competitive play, but then it's like I do get that you don't get no interaction with him. He might see one of your comments in a 3-hour stream, so it's like
I think it's a scale of comments as well, though. Like Ty's very good at picking up my comment. If I say anything on Ty's stream, he'll always respond to it. So I think there's familiar faces that he kind of engages with all the time. But, you know, there's 400 people in there, 500, 600, 700 people at times. So I think he's very selective over who he chooses to respond to. But Klaze, I think you're right. I think streaming is moving to that direction anyway. I think, you know, I started streaming 4 weeks ago, I don't know, like recently. And the first stream I done, my plan was to do like 5,000, 10,000 XP. And I literally just set up. I'd never done it before. And then suddenly there was like 15 people in the chat, and I was like, oh my God, this is like happening. I was like, I wasn't prepared for this. I got a controller in my hand. I'm like, what do I do now? So I kind of made the choice. I was like, do I engage with the chat? Do I focus on that, or do I grind XP? And I was like, I'm just so new to this, I don't know what to do. I got so distracted by the chat, I did 200 XP in 2 hours.
He kept shooting with Wade. He's like, oh, why I keep shooting Wade? Like, Wade needed like the 5 threes. Jazz finished with 97 points with Wade. I'm like, what are we doing, Jazz? 97 points, man.
That's not even a joke. That's actually what happens. I'm at a point now, like if I actually have to get something done, like I always get Josh on Discord with me, so he's quite good at kind of working the chat as I'm playing. But yeah, I agree with you, man. Like if I go into someone's stream, genuinely, if I go to someone's stream and leave a couple of comments, they don't respond, there's no reason for me to be there anymore. There are exceptions. Like there's a couple of times there's, some big games on and I want to watch them. Like Jacob played RCA the other day. It was amazing. When RCA played Splash, like there's certain times, these last couple of weeks, where I will tune into a stream just because you've got two amazing players. And there's something about RCA as well. When he's playing, I just want to see what he's going to do. Like when he ran Rondo against Splash, that's exactly why I tuned in. I was like, I need to see Rondo run for.
And I'm guilty of it too. Like Klaze, I'm guilty of that. Like I would literally play competitively and I don't look in the chat. But then when I'm there was a time, like my pack opening today, I did a little pack opening. I'm still gauging. I know my views are up high when I'm more engaging with the chat versus when I'm sweating my balls off. Or if it's like, if they know I'm in a tournament, all right, it's cool. The views will be up. But then I come back to chat. But then there's like times where I think I stream TTO online. TTO online is not competitive. I'm out here trying to get 21 points with Tyrese every possession down. So, I'm going to talk trash, engage your chat. And it's like, it's fun. That's fun for me. Like, even if I don't get Julius Randle, which RIP, Julius Randle didn't make the lineup, unfortunately. I'm going to go for Ron Harper. But yeah, like, it is fun. Like, it is fun.
He'll be back.
I need to.
He'll be back.
I need to do that. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, you saying that, like, I need to be more aware of how I am in my streams. Because I'm not going to lie. I'm 100% guilty for that. I'm not even going to.
Yeah. I'm still really like I say this every stream, like I'm not a natural streamer. Like I find it really difficult. Like this is fine for me, you three guys, like I can chat back and forth. Like I find the whole world of streaming. I'm still adjusting. I haven't figured it out yet. Let's move on to Danny Ferry really quickly. What impact do you think Ferry's going to have on content over the next 2 to 3 weeks?
I think there's going to be a lot of cards coming out with the Dante Exum base in the near future. Yeah. In the very near future. I just want, like I said, I want a team of 5 Danny Ferries. So
yeah. I mean, if we go back to Terry, which was the last time 2K did this, right? They put just a ridiculously OP card in the vault, which was the best card in the game, and everyone was scrambling. We're literally deja vu, right? But we've just gone back there. They updated Kawhi because of that card, right? That was the first thing that they did. And then they've really ramped up content over the next sort of 2 to 3 weeks. Got the Inferno packs and the Quantum packs, all these different things to just kind of really realign, I guess, where they were. Because we said this last week, the content's literally like this. Every 1 week it's just cracked out, and then suddenly find a random card in a vault that's completely OP, and then you have a headline card for a pack drop today, which is really underwhelming, and you almost don't know where to look. Like I think Paul Millsap is great, and he was just like an XP reward. Like it is really hard to predict. Like coming into this year, I would have said that the pack cards would have been the best cards the whole way through. That just hasn't been the case. It's different. But with Ferry, I think they're trying to level things out because they've got 5 months left of the cycle. And we've said cards are endgame before. And I truly believe those cards are still endgame. I think Kawhi, if he's badged up, you can still use him endgame. And that's one of the great things about this year.
He just got off my team as a starter. He's tough.
Yeah. And I'm sure yours isn't maxed out with 6 extra Hoff badges, right? Ferry is different. They've clearly pulled back today on content. They've gone, right, we might have peaked. The community got a little bit too excited about that card. Now everyone's playing a game mode that we don't really want them playing, unless you listen to what Jacob said last week and they're doing it for advertising. I think they're gonna chill for 2 or 3 weeks. Like they have to pull back. Today I predicted a bad pack drop. I think Tuesday we'll get a better one, and then next Friday I think we'll get a bad one as well. I don't think we're gonna see anything crazy until the start of next season. That's my prediction. What do you guys think?
I mean, I wouldn't count on a good pack drop on Tuesdays. In the last 2 months, the only good card in my mind, like good card that people would actually use and grind for whatever, was the Juan Carlos that came out like a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
And really, other than that, there hasn't been a good card midweek for months.
Yeah. I mean,
so
I think it'll be
Friday's the only day that good cards come out.
I think it'll be hard for them to do a worse release than today's. today's drops. Klaze, we spoke about today's cards earlier. What's your thoughts on today's drop?
So I did play a lot of MLB today, so I will say I didn't do my research as I normally do. I thought it was, again, I think the drop was solid. Like, everybody's complaining about it. I saw a lot of good cards in there. I mean, that Billy, if you throw flexible, I'm talking current. If you throw flexible and something else on him, Deadeye, the dude's a 70K card already, and he's a god. If you have the right badges,
only got hot zones in the corners.
But again, they have to do something to make him not Danny Ferry. I mean, they can't just drop 10 Danny Ferries every week, you know.
I mean, like we kind of said earlier, it felt like they took every card from this week and just did something to make it underwhelming. Like, every card had like an issue. And with him, it was that, and that's a really big issue with that card, because he's only really usable at shooting guard, right? Because he's 6'8". You know, at small forward, you can run Danny Ferry, so there's no point running him there. So he's a competitive card at shooting guard, but with those hot zones, he's not a usable card at shooting guard. So I think he is actually, unless you're running him at small forward, those hot zones are a disaster, and there's no reason to run him at small forward. Do you know something interesting, guys? Do you know that Melo is the best small forward card in the game, regardless of how we feel about it?
Yeah, well, we never got a primary small forward that was good.
The last primary
stats and badges,
the last primary small forward card we got that was usable or good was Paul Pierce.
The truth.
What have they got against small forwards? Like, that's why I think the next LeBron is going to be small forward.
Small forward point guard. Small forward point guard, I think.
Well, they've made a lot of the natural small forwards, and they've kind of out of positioned them, even when they're not out of positions. Like, KD played shooting guard for one season with the Sonics before they moved him to small forward. And then, Andre Kirilenko was a small forward for most of his career, but he's listed as a power forward. I mean, there's a lot of good traditional small forwards that 2K has just said, okay, we're going to make him primary power forward or primary shooting guard. Yeah. You know, Kawhi has been small forward a lot of his career. He's not always a shooting guard.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's true.
He doesn't even play shooting guard in his own team now.
Yeah.
He played if anything, he played the 4, not the 3 on the Clippers. They put Paul George at the 2. I thought when I seen them make him a 2-3. I mean, you wouldn't want to put him at the 4 anyway because he's 6'7". But I'm like, shooting guard.
There's been Kawhi cards that are power forward eligible this year.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it doesn't have to necessarily. Primary position means nothing. People always like, oh, this is my my small forward tier list, or you get something and they only do the guys who have primary small forward. I'm like, anybody who can play small forward is a small forward.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
That's what we did.
KD, the out of position KD can be S tier or franchise tier at center. I mean, you can.
We literally did that this week. We did that on stream this week. We did a point guard list. Next tier list is on Wednesday, by the way, guys. We'll be doing shooting guards. But yeah, we did that with the point guard. So we used every card that was like point guard eligible, basically.
Exactly.
Guys, you don't think LeBron's going to be a point guard?
I don't think the next one will be.
But why would? Because I feel like they would, because
I don't know. I mean, I don't work for 2K, but I don't think the next one.
The only reason I said that is like LeBron, because obviously the next big dark matter that people is going to be LeBron, because he's going to break packs. Only reason I said point guard eligible is because we starting to get big point guards now. We gotta if anything, we get a Ben Simmons this season before we get that dark matter LeBron. If we get a Ben Simmons before that dark matter LeBron, there's no doubt in my mind they don't make him a point guard.
The thing is, like, if you look at last year's pattern, if we do get a point guard LeBron or a point guard Giannis or whatever, they'll be like opals. They won't be dark matter cards. Like, they'll hold off on that. That's going to be the ultimate payoff at the end of the game, is that dark matter point guard LeBron. That's not something they're going to throw away, I think, early in the year. So you might get like a point guard opal, because we had the pink diamonds, right? Giannis and LeBron last year. Then the out of position LeBron came out, right? I think it was around this time, but I don't think they'll do it again. I might be wrong though. I might be wrong.
I think you may be wrong in regards to, like, that really good Giannis came out late in the year. The opal on the 99 overall Giannis. What was it? The takeover Giannis or whatever it was. And that card was around this time of the year, April, May time frame. And they still came out with 2 more GOAT Giannis's after that.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
I just think they're going to get their primary position dark matters first, and then we'll get everything else. That's what I feel like. I'd be if they release the dark matter point guard LeBron before they release dark matter small forward LeBron, I'll be shocked.
But we got dark matter point guard Kobe, and that's not even his position. That's the only reason I said that.
That's not a stretch, though. I think. I mean, it's not really for LeBron either, right? That he played point guard, but I just feel like we're going to get his primary one first. I don't know.
Well, it's also
like I
hard
said, I might be wrong.
It's also hard putting a 6'6" card at shooting guard these days. You know, you got Melo, you got these 6'8", 6'9" cards that can play shooting guard now.
Grant and Weber playing point guard too.
Yeah, people don't want to put Kobe at the 2. They want to be able to create with them because he's not playing against a 6'9", 6'10" guy every possession right now. Because most people are still running, pistol, JR, whatever other cards are the best point guards right now. It's not those giants yet. Yeah. So I think they wanted to get the Kobe out before the Giants over. Because if they would have dropped a dark matter Kobe in a month from now, nobody would use that card because he would be unusable at point guard. Yeah. Just like this one will be unusable at point guard in a month when they start dropping the point guard LeBron, point guard Simmons, point guard Giannis.
I think we said that last week. I think the Kobe came like 2 weeks too late.
If that's true, we get Alonzo soon. If that's the case, we're getting an Opal Alonzo soon.
We need a LaMelo that can play point guard, man. When is this card coming out? When are these rookies?
They could throw him out with the big point guards. They could throw LaMelo out with the big point guards because he's 6'7". 6'7" LaMelo could hang. He could definitely hang with a big point guard.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
Do you guys think 2K? You think 2K are going to struggle with their pacing for the next 5 months, or do you think there's enough of a gap there?
People are going to keep spending money no matter how late in the year it is. People don't care. They look at last year. Opal Simmons and Pink Diamond Giannis and Pink Diamond LeBron and all those cards were available at point guard, and everybody was screaming end game in March and this is terrible and whatever. I'm going to use this Opal Simmons for the rest of the year. Nobody used that Evo Simmons after May.
Yeah,
that Evo Simmons was so dated by the end of May because they just said, oh, we'll just chuck on another 30 Hall of Fame badges and make 99 everything. Other point guards, and all of a sudden that card became a buy now when it was 600-700K in March. I mean, you can always make a better card, and they will continue to do it. They'll just chuck on more Hoff badges and more
open the floodgates. Open the floodgates. Let all these players in. Let's go. Okay, in game now. Who cares? Just keep releasing cards. We gonna play anyway. Let's just have some fun.
Do you not think it's different though? Like, because cards are so customizable now, right? Like, you can literally create cards now that will have more badges than a lot of endgame cards.
I reckon would have been like the best idea for them this whole season if they had just like took it back a bit with the badges and just let us kind of control that more with the customizable.
I agree.
I think just push the badges down a bit, like literally like 20 less Hall of Fame on some of these players, and then let us kind of like get those, because like by now we should be able to get Hall of Fame badges and like game, like playing a certain amount of games you get a Hall of Fame badge, or just challenges, because in that we would be away, like we more customizable, and I feel like our MyTeam better.
You're 100% right. You're 100% right. I thought that the whole time. If they took like 10 Hoff badges off every card that's been released and made Hoff badges way more available, and we could have had so much more fun creating those cards, and how different each of those cards would have been when one Luka running against another, and how different those cards could have been. And it goes back to what we were saying last week with RCA. Like, they should have given them the core badges. Steph should have range, and cards that shouldn't have range shouldn't have range. And then it's our job to apply that to that card to turn it into that glitched card or whatever it is that we can do. And it's been a weird year. I think there is a point where it could have got out of control though, where we're just taking the tallest point guard and putting 80 Hall of Fame badges on it. It could have been,
but it's going to get to that point anyway. You know what I mean? So
that's true.
Like, let us become, if that happens, but people are still going to like just upgrade cards that you would never think. So like, that's what's cool. But there's no need to, because
for me, I think there's too much I've talked to Jazz about this in chats or whatever. There's just too much being able to make a card. This card's missing Hot Zone Hunter, Green Machine, Range, Flexible, and whatever. And if he only had those 5 badges, he would be a god tier card.
Yeah.
And now that I can add all 5 of those, I actually like that they didn't allow you to put Hoff range on Giannis, or they didn't allow you to put this range on anybody or something like. They should only let you do so much, and they open the floodgates of the customization too early.
Yeah. Speaking of putting badges on players, Limited. Have you guys played Limited this weekend? Have you seen the requirements? Do you know what the requirements?
Bro,
No.
They want us to get pissed off playing this game because the one thing I can rely on in Limited is getting a stop.
Bro, they ran out of ideas last week for sure. Like, I played my 5 games earlier. Interestingly, 2 of those games back to back were identical. Like, I just got algoed to hell for 3 quarters and then won in the last quarter. Like, literally, it's like I'm pretty sure shot for shot almost those games were. But yeah, no clamps and no players who were allowed to have clamps. So everyone's just gone absolutely ham with Diamond Jabberant.
The one card I just can't stand.
Yeah, having like PTSD about it, Josh. You hated that card.
I'm not gonna lie, everybody's getting double teamed.
Cool. All right, I'm gonna leave you guys with one thing. I want to read something to you guys. You let me know what your thoughts are. You guys know how I feel about 2K, right? I think 2K are bad at making games. I just think they're really, really bad at gameplay. All of their franchises are dying a really slow death. I think that's how it's going. Certainly in terms of gameplay. In terms of content, they're fine. But in terms of gameplay, I think they're not on the up. So one of their games, which is their WWE games, is like there's outrage about how bad those games are. Like people are really angry about how like way worse than anything you'll see in the NBA 2K universe. They released a statement about the next WWE game 2K22. This is what they said, right? We think transparency is really important. We certainly are cognizant of the reception of the franchise. We want to show that this is a completely different and new step in the right direction. So we're going to be communicating early and often. AKA, we know we messed this up beyond belief. Please don't leave us next year. We're going to try and fix this, right? That's a translation of that message. Do you think they are aware of our feelings about the game, the gameplay, and things like that, where we're likely to see a similar response about 2K22?
No, I don't think so. It's too bad. Like the whole replying to comments thing, and like people always leave negative comments under 2K's tweets. I just like it's been going on for years. I expect that. But this game is like it's damaged beyond repair to the point where I believe you told me I think 2K's playtime went down when MLB like so. If that affects their pockets, if their pockets is hurting, they know they're like, all right, we got to do something about that. Let's tighten up. We got to make this a good one. So I think we're gonna see not a huge change, but definitely a change and possibly a step in the right direction. I'm hoping for it, and I'm like almost 60-70% sure we'll see it.
Yeah. I will say they've tried to eliminate stuff in the next gen version of the game that's people have been abusing in the current gen.
Yeah.
And I think in general, they can put a mediocre product out there gameplay wise. And if they continue to, because in my opinion, this is the best 2K ever, MyTeam in regards to content. And I know it's not close. 100%. And coming back.
Yeah.
So I only care if they more concentrate on the content and the XP and things like that more so than the gameplay. And who's going to compete with them? Is EA going to come in with a knight in shining armor that's going to all of a sudden have better gameplay? I mean, people are going to play it. It's the only option. And until there's a legitimate second option, which I don't think there can be for years, because it's not like EA can come in and make a perfect gameplay game. It's not going to happen either. It's going to take years to develop that to even get probably equal to 2K's average, crappy gameplay in some aspects.
Yeah.
And 2K can also develop in the next gen console as well during that time frame. So what's their ambition to put so much resources into that? Because they're going to get the money anyways. And they're going to make the money from the content and not from the gameplay.
So I think you're right, but it's a very similar situation with the WWE games, right? They don't have any competition. They haven't had any desire to make a good game. Again, it's a similar thing. They're just all about content, the visuals, the graphics. That's really all they care about on those games. But they're obviously sweating a little bit to come out and say, hey, we know you guys think this is a terrible game. We're going to do something about it. There is one scenario where 2K lose quickly, which is if they lose the rights. And this has happened time and time again, right? EA picked up the rights to UFC recently, and they made a good game first time, a better game than was before that. I think it's a possibility that 2K are suddenly under some pressure here to keep these franchises, because honestly, general reception, people have takes on Madden, FIFA, MLB, whatever. They're not like this. They're not like this. The 2K community at times can really hate this game. And like I said last week, there's literally a YouTube channel set up to criticize WWE 2K games. It's literally just glitches like back to back, and they post clips of them. It's got over 1 million subscribers. Like, this is a practical joke as a company right now, that's just kind of feeding and going again and again. So I'm going to be interested. I'm going to be keeping an eye out. But guys, we got 1 minute left, so I'm going to close this out. This has been awesome, man. Like, I feel like we just had the most intense discussion we've ever had on the podcast. I feel like I need a shower just after this conversation. Klaze, did you enjoy yourself, man?
Absolutely, man. I'm sorry I wasn't more prepared, or probably didn't have the best discussions or anything like that. Getting a 10-second warning, but
first of all,
it's been,
of all, that's on us.
It's been fun, man, and I would love to do it again whenever you have me.
100%. Guys, we're back with a new guest next week. Super excited. Someone I've been chasing for 3 months. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the podcast. Leave a comment. If you did drop a sub, do that. We're really close to getting monetized, so help us out. But yeah, until next time, thanks for watching, guys.